Could you imagine like going into like the hangar deck of Sanctuary and like taking off and like flying to the other side of Araxis and getting involved in some kind of a skirmish over a warp gate or something? No one knew Bastions were coming, then they dropped them. You just can't trust the teases as being complete. I like that. I like that. See, this is a great time for Planetside because it kind of feels like this kind of thing could happen. Shit, that's cool. So I've already watched the start of the live stream, talking about the new weapons, the new anniversary bundles, all that great microtransaction-y shit. Where I paused and saved my first impressions for later is when I started talking about the future of Planetside. There have been some pretty interesting teasers I've seen going around Twitter and the subreddit recently that point towards some kind of like a scythe in space over Araxis. Anyway, I am going to watch it for myself. Here we go.
Long time. Okay.
It's a kite. All right,
we've been taken off of Twitch.
Yeah. For everyone that's been with us for, not even necessarily the last 8 years, but for the last couple years, we hope that you've noticed the dramatic increase in new content and new features that we've been able to roll out this year. We've talked about this a lot before, but at the beginning of the year we are able to
Definitely have noticed, Andy. Big difference. Sideline, why does Andy look blurrier than Rel? Anyone notice that? I mean, I assume they're sitting in the same studio. Weird.
pretty dramatically increase the team size again. Not only that, but we've also been able to start, as with the success that the game has seen with everyone coming back, we've been able to start expanding the team even more. So our plan is to continue.
How much more, Andy?
That. This is not a fluke. This isn't just some blip on the radar where we got a bunch of updates out and then we're going to go dark again for a couple months. The plan is to still continue at this cadence of getting new features, new content out on a regular basis, just like you'd seen for all of 2020 through 2021 in the future. So,
It's a good thing to say, right? I mean, better to do it than to say it, but yeah. You communicate what the expectation is and you deliver on it. That's what generates trust. And that's what RPG has been needing to do this year. So good for them. Good for Planetside. Good for Planet Mans and ladies.
let's talk about what we have planned. So again, this is not meant to be a detailed roadmap of exactly when things are rolling in. There's going to be some stuff that we do point out that is very close on the calendar, but there's some stuff that's a bit further out on the horizon. But this is all stuff, not everything, but the stuff that we'd like to really focus on talking about right now. So let's talk about the first thing, which is Outfit Wars. So as you all know, we did.
Oh boy!
It was two.
Oh boy! I've been curious about this for months. So Outfit Wars was something I wasn't sure RPG was going to be able to pull off at the start of the year, but they did, and they pulled it back. I mean, it was definitely raw when it came out, and I think it was testing some very untested waters. So I'm extraordinarily curious what they're going to come out with here. Is this going to be more tilted towards the side of access, or more people get into it and it's more of like an automated thing, or is it going to be more of like an esportsy type event? I'm really feeling it's going to be more the former. That they're going to steer away from the idea of having these massive ceremonies, because I have a feeling those aren't going to scale very well, like the RCTV level casts and shit like that. Let's see though. Classic Handsome, what up?
Wars Alpha Cycles.
Yep.
Got a lot of good feedback from that. After the first one, we incorporated a lot of that feedback. Ran the second one. got a lot of great feedback from that. But it was at that point that we really felt like there needed to be a significant overhaul. It wasn't just a couple weeks of work and do another alpha cycle. We didn't feel like we were going to get it
Mail my GPU to you for free, but then how could I do this?
to the point that we needed to, where we could transition it to being the non-alpha version and getting into like the formal season. So what we did was take a portion of the team, I think it was 3 months ago, and started working on a pretty significant overhaul to the system and start expanding it. And we're pretty close to rolling it out. So, Michael, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So so one of the biggest points of friction for Outfit Wars in particular was the qualifiers. People got burnt out in the first phase. It was really extreme. And then
so just to expand on this, the outfit that I played with in the first Outfit Wars was a 5-day qualification period, about 120 hours long. And during that period, there were people from my outfit who put in more than 80 hours played in a 120-hour period to make sure we qualified. And they hated themselves, they hated the game, they hated life after that experience. I don't blame them. So I think the direction they were starting to steer this was towards having qualifications happen during like certain slices of time, during prime times for each server, which I think is a good start. I would love to see these qualifications happen as like a kind of like an event inside the game, like a big alert of some kind. But let's see what they've come up with.
And in the second phase, we're kind of like getting the rulings a little bit closer, but it just, if we were to keep going down that route, we probably could have gotten it close to where it's tolerable, but we're not looking for tolerable. We're looking for, fun and exciting and feeling like it's part of the game. So with that being said, we're going to be shifting to more like a tournament style, where your qualifiers are actually done on a match-by-match basis on Desolation, and that's something that we'll...
You hate spawning on Sanctuary and have to redeploy every time. Yeah, they've got to add value to Sanctuary still in order for people to start liking it. It's going to take a while, I think. I think it's going to take a while. I don't blame you, though. I think a lot of people feel the way you do.
We'll talk about in just a moment. But so the normal flow, all these dates, by the way, are kind of nonsense. But actually, they don't look all that bad. But yeah, ignore the dates. So you enlist in the Outfit Wars currently, and you'll have so there's going to be your regular season, this playoffs, championships. Oh wait, actually I shouldn't mention that yet. Anyway, so
all right, stream's over.
Yeah. Let's try this over again. So
yeah, they did. So they only did 2. I think it was only 2 Outfit Wars. Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 is what they called them, and they pulled it back, which kind of surprised me at the time. But I think it was probably the smart play to pull it back and revise it before people got really sick of it. So yeah, it's been gone for like at least 6 months, I think. Close to that. I don't know the exact timing. Yeah, you can see this is showing Alpha 3, so this would be the third one. Lucky you played it and won the title. Which server? Which outfit, too? Cobalt, word. Nice. Congrats.
So when you enlist in an outfit war, one of the things that we're going to be doing is making it so we have to have an even number of participants per faction. So if at minimum 10 Vanu outfits or whatever join on one side, and there's like 40 on the TR and the VS, we're still going to have to limit it to 10. So when you see this like enlistment pending, you'll queue up for an enlistment, and as those slots fill out and become even as far as matchups go, you'll kind of be added to this list. So you enlist first, and the enlistments or the dates in which you're going to play are going to be laid out up front. They'll be focused on...
I'm going to take a minute and look over this UI. Your next match, top 6 make the playoffs. Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 rounds of playoffs in the championship. Interesting. Regular season. The Real Elite outfit. Red, black, blank squad. Rewards are granted during the playoffs and the championships. Rewards are delivered once your outfit's official rank has been determined, usually at the end of the match. So this team is 4-0-0. Okay, so each server will have a bracket whose size is constrained by the faction with the lowest amount of registrations. That's what he's saying. You'll play, I'm guessing once a week. I don't know if that's true, but that's just a guess. 10 weeks is enough to have 4 brackets a year with 3 weeks of downtime between them. Anyway, let's keep watching.
On the weekends, but when more outfits start showing up and you start building out the roster, what we do is we look at ideal times of play for to start populating those matches first, and then work backwards kind of into the week. So we can support an absurd amount of outfits currently using this process, and it's always going to be kind of like pushing people to the ideal time so that you get to you get more chances to actually participate. Like there's less conflicts with outfit ops and that sort of thing. So
Not sure what that means.
on the screen,
exactly.
You're going to see kind of the our matchmaking. So we're going to be running a season, and the season's going to be broken down into 3 different parts. The first is kind of just the qualifiers, and it's a matchup of you jump in for your chance to play on Desolation, and all of the qualifiers will be run through this match these matchup sort of basis. So instead of playing the live game and hoping you get a chance to play on Desolation, everybody gets a chance to play on Desolation, which is going to be super cool for outfits who are like smaller, or maybe like couldn't like quite manipulate the system in such a way that it gave them enough score.
It'll make
totally saw in the
it'll
first
make
and
devs like Alan happy too, saying, "Why did I spend so much time on this?" And nobody gets to play.
Enjoying some Pizza Classic?
Right. Yeah. So a lot. Desolation will be available to way more people now, which is going to be super awesome.
That's good.
So you'll go and you'll play your qualifier.
I'm also a big fan of the idea that qualifications actually happen in Desolation. Like, you qualify by doing what you qualify for, as opposed to it being mixed into live play. I think that's good. It's more clean. Soon, yes, it's in the oven waiting for you. I love that feeling, like when pizza's just getting ready for you in the oven. The anticipation is nice.
And your win-loss record is going to determine like who you fight the next week, and you'll go through a number of different matches. The first, we're going to run an alpha cycle early next year, and it should be the last alpha cycle using this new system, and then we're going to compress the timescales, but more realistically, you'll see like a matchup every week as you move through the entirety of a season. So you'll run through qualifiers, and your win-loss ratio will determine who you're matched up against, and when you eventually hit the the qualifiers are finished, you'll get.
So that's a little weird. Isn't the way that leagues usually work? You have like a seasonal schedule. That way you play every team. Because if you only are matched up against teams based on your standing, that means that over time you'll only play. Well, over a long enough period, you'd only play the clans. Or the outfits that are the same skill as you. But if you're only doing 6 qualifier matches, there's probably not enough time for that. I don't know. It seems a bit odd. But then again, I guess if the number of outfits playing are open-ended, then that wouldn't be constrained anyway. So that evening out process wouldn't have a chance to occur. I wonder then what you do when you have 6 matches that are determining playoff qualification between 60 different outfits. How many outfits make the playoffs? if we consider three rounds and then a finals, that would suggest 2, 4, 8, 16 teams with single elimination. Anyway, proceeding.
Knocked out or you want, based on just how many people we're kind of pitting up against one another, who has a high score and that sort of thing. And there's multiple kind of records, I guess, for how we track score. The most powerful of which is win-loss, but like if there's an even number of wins and losses and that sort of thing, we're also monitoring your stats in game, or just your performance in game.
Thank you for the follow, Classic.
We've taken a lot of efforts to make it like it's fair and smart, and there was a lot of work that went into this. Like Andy said, we started this quite some time ago, but yeah.
So one of the questions
my alerts are not
I
working
know
yet.
it's coming up now. Thank you, Justin, for reminding us. But it also came up a lot during the original 2 alpha cycles. Is just accessibility to smaller outfits.
Yep. Yeah, and this is our solution to that. So we're still currently mandating the 48 number of players, as Desolation was kind of designed for that. But as far as so the massive outfits are, they'll be able to play, but they won't be the only ones who are able to play. Like you will jump in with your middle-sized outfit and that sort of thing, and kind of pull enough players together. In the future, we can probably work on doing like a lot.
How many hours do I have played? I think it's about 1,000. I think. I'm not sure if I played all those hours on the Steam launcher, though. Let's just check Steam. See what it says. I'm curious now, too. Where are you at, Steam? Steam? Maybe on a monitor that's somewhere. Oh, there you are. Okay. Planetside 2. Yeah, just shy of 1,000 hours. What about you?
Alliances and that sort of thing. It's not in the cards right now, but it's something that is kind of in the back of our mind, because stitching smaller outfits together is a smart thing to do. But we definitely want to
I want to re-listen to
try
that.
the setup and see how many be able to play, but they won't be the only ones who are able to play. Like you will jump in with your middle-sized outfit and that sort of thing, and kind of pull enough players together. In the future, we can probably work on doing like alliances and that sort of thing. It's not in the cards right now, but it's something that is kind of in the back of our mind, because stitching smaller outfits together is a smart thing to do. But we definitely want to try the setup and see how many of the super large outfits kind of divvy up into smaller factions, because honestly, the more outfits we can get into the game, the better. And
3,000
there's
hours.
a handful of different goals,
Strong.
but we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, this really sets up the framework and the stage for us to start testing out stuff like that. But
Right. Yeah. And yeah.
Sorry,
I was
train of thought.
Yeah. Let's move on to so you have the qualifiers there in the I guess the regular season, and then you run into playoffs, which are, so we distill it down to the top fighters for this cycle, and we use a different scoring record. This based on your win losses there, but also like we gold, silver, bronze, that sort of thing matters. Gold is obviously the best, and then we'll distill that down further into a championship. So you'll end up with a top 3 outfits per faction, based on their matchups and where they place and that sort of thing. So and then in addition to that, there's going to be rewards at every level. So whether you're an outfit who is just like coming in to participate and you're using it to practice, and you maybe don't make enough progress
Andy's
like
so
up the ladder,
blurry.
like there's still going to be stuff for you, both at a personal level and at an outfit-wide level, and we have to be kind of smart with what we do for rewards and like how we divvy those out, because an outfit of a few thousand players isn't really contributing to the 40 some odd players that you have in a match, right? So participation in the actual matches will be important, but we still want to kind of like celebrate the outfit as a whole. And
That's a tough balance. Because like I remember, and I guess it won't work this way this time around, but during the OG Outfit Wars, which you'll remember, classic, in order to qualify, you'd have a lot more than 48 people involved to push that qualification. And even if you didn't play in the match itself, like you could put a lot of effort into it. But it sounds like with this, the entire experience will be constrained to Desolation and those 48v48v48. So I guess over 10 matches, assuming you went the whole distance, you would probably have people swapping in and swapping out. So you need probably, I don't know, like a roster of like 70 to 90 people to make it work. Depending on how dedicated you are. Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking this through. I like what I'm seeing so far. I understand that Rel is very conscious about rewards. We saw this, I think, with the mission system being released, where he talked about moving rewards from alerts to the mission system, and that really pissed a lot of people off. And I get it. I get why, because the mission system is more targeted towards newer players, whereas the alerts are more targeted towards veteran players. That's the way people have been trained to play and get rewards for a long time. And I don't think that was really telegraphed very well. Anyway, rabbit trailing, but Outfit Wars rewards. Yeah, I wonder if he'll say anything about the kinds of rewards they can give. Because for an event like this, you can't give players power. So, but you can give them like cool looking status symbols, like maybe unique skins, like a golden variant of something that you can't buy on the in-game store. There are gold variants of most guns, I think, at this point. So maybe something more unique. I don't know. Let's see what he says.
You'll see rewards later. Some of it's still up in the air right now, so we're kind of sorting through that process. But in alpha, it's like
also like the idea of a what are the player banners called? The things that appear on someone's death screen when you kill them. Something like that, like Outfit Wars winner. That would be cool, like a belt. Oh yeah, actually, this reminds me. There's something that Destiny does really well. They put a whole bunch of hype and effort and production value into their raid races. You get a title warrior, right? I remember that. Do you know about Destiny Classic Handsome and their raid races that they do? They actually have one going on tomorrow. So Destiny put out a new expansion a week and a half ago, and they've given players 10 days to grind to get ready for day one of the new raid coming out. And what they do is a few things. Number one is they give special rewards to the people who are the first people to clear the raid legitimately. So they do a bunch of checking to make sure that whoever clears it legitimately, that they didn't do any cheats or exploits and shit like that. And they actually hand out like raid belts. Let me see if I can show you one of these. It looks so cool. Destiny 2 Raid World First Rewards. Yeah, here we go. Like, check this out. Wouldn't it be dope as fuck? It'd be clean as fuck if RPG would create some swag like this around becoming an Outfit Wars champion. Something that like people could like put on the wall behind them while they stream. God damn. Some kind of swag. They also do the raid jackets. Like Destiny is actually insane. Like Bungie is actually crazy about this stuff. It's like golf. You get a jacket. I guess you can make it an in-game cosmetic too. But there's some cool stuff you can do with that. And cooler than a title. 'Cause let's be honest, titles aren't not that cool. And I don't think you want to do this, like reward things like certification points or anything for something like this. Maybe you can award Daybreak cash. That would be classy. Okay. Back to Rel. And Andy.
Cycle 1, we should get like a really good feel for what for how all this this new stuff will play out.
Yep. So I started this off by saying, you know, we're not mentioning specific dates, but this is one of those features that's coming pretty close to wrapping up and getting to a point where we're getting ready to roll it out. So shortly after the new year is, and by shortly, I'm talking about within the first month or so, we're planning on rolling this out to the live servers.
Love it.
So you want to talk about
rest?
Okay. I'm really excited about what's coming up next. I talked about this at the start of my stream. They teased something that looked a lot like space combat up above the atmosphere of Araxis or on Twitter. I don't know what I think about that, but I'm very excited about this. So I hope they don't let me down.
It was funny because Rel and I were talking about
not Michael.
How we weren't sure how long the stream was going to go, but we're already 30 minutes into it, and we still have a lot to cover. So,
okay,
let's talk about what we have planned for 2021. So, obviously,
look at that. They're so excited. You can tell they're brimming with jubilation, and there's no fear whatsoever in their eyes or hesitation. I love it. Love it.
So you went into quite a bit of detail about the Outfit Wars changes, but the next thing we want to talk about is, you know, one of the most important aspects of the game, regardless of how you like to play it. It's the new player onboarding and getting new players into the game, because we still get a lot of new players every day in both the PC and PS4 versions. So this game is an incredibly deep and complex game. So we want to we've been working for the last several weeks now, kind of like we did with Outfit Wars, where we put together a smaller group to start ideating on some changes. And new player onboarding is going to be
this sounds very
a
raw.
big focus in the early part of next year.
Give us some details, man.
Start with that.
Let's start with that. Yeah, exactly. So we put together this not so fancy presentation to just keep us on track. So we've already talked about Outfit Wars.
All right. This probably consolidates the points better than my mouth
these
did. So
PowerPoints.
turn to stock qualifiers, score-based matchmaking, personal and outfit wide rewards, and then we're done. So new player on
Score-based matchmaking. So that answers a question that we had earlier about how they pick, how they do the matchups. If you have a lot of teams who are registered for a new season of Outfit Wars, I'd imagine you'd have to have some kind of seeding too. I wonder if they take previous season results to do that. New player experience. So, like, I have a video on my YouTube channel that literally is called "Fuck the New Player Experience" in Planetside 2. I don't know. I think I have a unique outlook on that, where I think you can't make the new player experience easy enough and smooth enough to get people to play a game that they don't want to play, and it's better to try to find new ways to speak to the core of what people want out of the game, rather than try to make it easy for people to passively play it. My idea of that is to present Planetside as a game where you're going to die a lot, and it requires a hardcore commitment to get good and to flex on noobs. But I don't know. I just get tired of hearing about the new player experience as the solution to problems with niche games. It's okay for a niche game to be a niche game. That's what Planetside is. And that's okay.
onboarding, as Andy mentioned. So this is...
That said, it is good to have the new player experience be okay. This is something of a... Hang on a second. Sorry about the interruption. I'm having a strong reaction to the new player experience, not because I think the new player experience isn't something that's good to have, but because I think it's overemphasized by the community and probably by the devs, but mainly by the community. I am hyped about those new drop pods, though. Those look cool. If you have a shitty tutorial, it's better to have a good tutorial. Totally agree with that. Character creation screen? Boy, does that need to happen? I think if you had updated like player face models, that might help. Do you see the new helmets with the space helmets that show off the full face? God damn. Those faces in Planetside are horrifying. Like they look like actual like Halloween masks themselves. All right, I digress. Take it away, Ralph.
It's also one of the things that's kind of coming up in the near term. So we are gonna. So when it comes to new player experience, like there's no silver bullet for this. But we do know that we need a new tutorial. Like that's one of the things that absolutely has to happen.
Ours is not aged fine like wine.
Right. Yes.
It is rotted.
Right. So and then also an updated character create screen will be something that we want to do. And that's more just to kind of like give you a better understanding of the different factions and kind of their powers and that sort of thing, instead of just the red, purple, blue, and also gray. And then, so the new tutorial is going to be not only just a tutorial, but kind of your first look at the world of Planetside 2 as well.
That's
and
good.
Then the mentor system we want to touch upon as well. And that is will probably not be rolled into like the same update, but the mentor system will need some focus at some point for sure. It's definitely on the agenda.
I have no opinion about the mentor system.
But just just to be clear, the way we look at the new player onboarding changes,
seems not good though.
Just introducing new players to the game. Every day that goes by that we don't actually improve this onboarding process is players that we're losing. So it's really high priority for us, especially right now. So that's like Michael had said. Rel had said.
Michael's fine.
There's the slip.
Mike Rel.
Mike Rel Henderson.
Yes. That is one of our highest priorities at this point. So expect to see that relatively soon.
Yes. And we've actually started on it. So
yeah,
it won't just be 8 years of lip service. Hopefully.
Yikes. Yeah, so those are this is an example of development being driven by data. I'm not sure what I think about it. It's clear that they have a bunch of data about new players trying and then leaving Planetside behind. Question is, why are they leaving it behind? I guess if they stop in the middle of the tutorial or never make it out of the warp gate, you could argue that it's a basic teaching problem. But I tend to think that people are smart. And they can get a pretty good sense of whether a game is for them pretty quickly. I've tried to drive a bunch of my friends to play Planetside over the years. And I do a lot to soften the edges for those folks and help them find a good experience to start with. I'll roll a Galaxy or a Sunderer, and we'll drive around to good, even fights. I make sure we have spawns, all the good stuff. I'll play medic to get them back up. And none of those people kept playing the game, despite the fact that I made an experience for them that didn't feel all that much different from like, I don't know, all these drop in, drop out shooters you can play. And maybe this is also like a projection thing, because for me, like, if I'm like in love with the idea of a game, I'm willing to put up with some crap. I don't know if there are people who can enjoy Planetside unless you're willing to put up with a lot of crap. And it's got nothing to do with the quality of the game. It's just it's just a fundamental tenet of sandbox PvP. And the problem with a new player experience is that it doesn't prepare people to get farmed. No matter how good the tutorial is, no matter how good the mentor system is, no matter how good the character creation screen is. It's not going to prepare you for what to do when you show up at a 30-70 fight. It's not going to prepare you for what to do when there is some tryhards banshee farming you. It's not going to prepare you what to do for when there's, a 5 KD heavy assault streamer barreling down the hallway at you and warping around like a god and hitting every single headshot. The game rewards knowledge and good play where it's well balanced. It's not well balanced everywhere, of course. And one of the big problems that Planetside seems to have is that people witness the asymmetry of outcomes once they start playing Planetside. And rather than think, oh, I'm just not good, players will think, oh, the person who killed me is using overpowered equipment. Because people have been presented the idea of a war game with a progression system. It's a logical deduction. I'm having a shitty experience because I haven't farmed enough. I haven't farmed the right weapons. I haven't progressed my character enough. That's the way RPGs work. MMORPGs work. And Planetside is presented as an MMO shooter. Everyone in Planetside, though, knows that's not the reality. Everyone knows that asymmetry of outcome is based on game knowledge, game sense, and physical skill. And that you can give the best players the worst equipment, and they'll dominate the worst players with the best equipment. And that is a problem that cannot be solved with a tutorial. You have to solve it at the level that the game is presented. And maybe the character creation screen can say something about this. But man, I think you gotta market and present the game differently. Update the Steam page. Show people that it's okay to get farmed because you're playing the game with the mentality of learning and improving. And one of the rewards you get for learning and improving is you get to try out a bunch of different equipment. And it doesn't make you strong. It doesn't make you tall. It makes you wide. It makes you able to respond to a wide variety of different situations. It doesn't make you overpowered in one of them. I don't think that idea is obvious from the outside. I really don't. And I'm sure of that because a lot of my good friends have played with me and complained about the game seeming like it was pay to win. Which is a ridiculous thing to say about Planetside 2. I know a lot of people are going to be pleased to see this emphasis on the new player experience, though. Because that's just what the community seems to want. And I'll just reiterate, fuck the new player experience. Anyway, let's continue. I'm sure that they'll do some good work. I'm confident in this team. I know it'll be an improvement to the game. But you've got to pair improvements to the new player experience with a revision in how you present the game. So people don't just have an easier time when they get to it, but they know how to approach it. They're told how to approach it. Don't let the first time someone learns that they're going to get farmed be like, oh, let me restate this idea. I didn't say that very clearly. Don't let the first time someone realizes the game is a hardcore PvP sandbox where they're going to die a lot be in their second or third hour. Tell that to them in the first 5 minutes of the game. Make a new cinematic about it. Or do anything. I mean, there's so many ways you can do this. They don't have to be high production value, high budget. A game like Planetside needs to form a relationship with the people who play it. And if you don't communicate expectations to people clearly in a relationship, you're setting yourself up to be taken advantage of, on one side or the other. And that is one of the feelings that I see expressed by the Planetside community over the years. They feel taken advantage of. Like their time spent providing the game with content by playing it is not. I don't know. I'm really tangenting here, but I really think this is a blind spot for Planetside, and I really wish they'd see it. And Rel watched my stream when I was talking about this last time, so he knows I think this. I'm gonna keep saying it. I think they're gonna take me seriously eventually. You wait. 2022, 10-year anniversary of Planetside. Deeg was right all along.
Okay, NSO revamp. This is something.
Thank God we have this divider between us.
Right.
Not to come over at you.
Yeah. So the NS operatives are something that was introduced with the DX11 update last year. And they definitely the intention was to build out the faction and create. Actually, I'll go to the next screen. How do I go back?
Hold on. So, okay, before you go to the next one, I need to set it up because the little NSO.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay, hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
One more.
Talk about those first steps. Is this just an NS revamp?
No, in
Michael?
fact, you could call it an NS overhaul.
All right, let's kill the stream right now.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Yeah. God. Right. That secures my pay raise. Okay, so
that either went over really well or everyone is now leaving the stream.
Yeah, right.
It's just so bad.
Yeah. Okay, so you you can call it that. So one of the things that we're going to be doing with NS operatives is to make it free for all players. But memberships are still going to be able to have benefits, like we're going to allow you to assign yourself to a home faction. So Nanic Systems, as a faction, was intended to be built out. There's obviously things that are lacking from the arsenal, like vehicles mostly, and then the weapons as well. And those are things that are going to be coming alongside this, and hopefully it'll be just a massive, awesome update.
Hopefully.
And then the problems that NSO have outside of like the bugs, there's a lot of weirdness because of how they're set up and how they shift between factions, that sort of thing. Free players are going to continue to shift between factions. Members will be able to align themselves with a faction from the outset, so from like character creation. Actually, there's two proposals, so I shouldn't lock that down right now. But the biggest problem I feel with Nanic Systems operatives is that it's really hard to play with other people. They're very lone wolf oriented, and Planetside 2 is mainly a community oriented game. So if you can get them into to outfits alongside your friends, that'll be kind of a big part of sticking around and having fun with that faction. So we're definitely trying to work that angle. And then also
I agree with that.
Not mentioned in the slide, but they'll probably be receiving, since it'll be open to everybody, some more asymmetry as well. So as far as like robots, they should probably be repaired instead of healed by a medic and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's cool.
And asymmetry is something that I think our game can stand to.
They're robots with feelings.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love
they
it.
definitely have feelings.
They have emotions.
Yeah. And then
asymmetry. Embrace that shit, yo.
Anyway,
fuck yeah.
So next up on the
Talk
list,
more about that, Rel.
spawn system update. This still requires some planning. We've taken some passes at the spawn system in the past. In my opinion, it's gotten better. And depending on who you ask and how dark their rose-colored glasses are, spawn system has been really bad in the past. Or it'd lock you into a single lane, and you can't actually leave until you get into an ESF and fly across the map. And that's not really intuitive. But something that we can stand to improve on is a clearer rationale for like why you can spawn into place. Why shouldn't you be able to spawn into place? So some sort of clarity there. Population distribution. It'd be nice to start. This is something that the previous spawn system update tried to address, but it was using a really heavy stick to motivate people, and there was also a lot of bugs associated with it, so it just created confusion. But better population distribution. So like where we
what is
try
this?
to
Look at this. Oh, it's being obscured now. When I unpause it, look at the bottom right. Actually, you can't see it because I'm blocking it. Hold on, let me turn off my face. It says Daybreak Game Company, LLC, Confidential 2019. Go back a few seconds.
This is
See?
something the previous spawn system update
Right here.
tried to address, but it was using a really heavy stick to motivate people, and there was also a lot of bugs associated with it, so it just created confusion. But better population distribution. So like where we try to we suggest you go could be better. And instead of using the stick, maybe we're using carrots and that sort of thing. Remote vehicle spawn fixes, it's got to be done. That system is really hit or miss, despite how cool it is. And then joint combat has been something that's you kind of don't know what it's doing most of the time. So we'll take another swing at that as well. And this just kind of the spawn system, and with nanosystems operatives, and I mean most of the stuff that we're talking about so far is it's reinvesting into the
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that. I want to listen to that again too. Map vehicle spawns. Hopefully I'm not going back too far here.
could be better. And instead of using the stick, maybe we're using carrots and that sort of thing. Remote vehicle spawn fixes, it's got to be done. That's
Remote vehicle spawn fixes. So I guess situations where you should be able to spawn into a vehicle, but you can't. I've definitely run into my fair share of those, I feel like. I don't know about you.
system is really hit or miss, despite how cool it is. And then joint combat has been something that's you kind of don't know what it's doing most of the time. So we'll take another swing at that as well.
Also, I'm bummed they changed instant action to join combat. Instant action is such a better name. Such a better name. Revert join combat back to instant action. Well, do it. Just do it.
And this just kind of the spawn system, and with nanosystems operatives, and I mean most of the stuff that we're talking about so far is it's reinvesting into the some of the older elements that have been released over time, because we want the game to feel solid. We want it to feel like it's a cohesive experience instead of these threads that are kind of sometimes woven in really interesting ways.
Partially woven threads.
Partly, yeah, right.
Yeah, that actually, one of the questions that came up is, will we get new voice packs for NSO characters? And
Homero, our audio guy is.
I think that's his title. Is
audio guy.
Audio
Yeah.
guy. We were just talking about this the other day, especially with the new player onboarding and any sort of new VO direction for that. So, as part of rounding out the NSO as a faction, it would likely include that type of stuff.
That's something that he's been working on just for fun in his off time. So I feel like that's definitely something that we can pull off. But in regards to the audio stuff, so when we talk about creating new vehicles and that sort of thing, because NSO is going to need them, something that we lack right now is specific callouts. So audio is kind of a big hurdle when it comes to figuring out or like bringing in all those voice actors and then like having them move through new lines. So we'll definitely have to come up with some solutions for that. It would be nice to call out a javelin instead of a enemy transport vehicle. Or, I mean, nowadays we have like vehicles that can kind of shift factions too. So calling out a VS Mag Rider. Actually, I think we might, VS Mag Rider.
Maybe I should do some voice acting for Daybreak. What do you guys think? Enemy javelin! How's that sound? Is that good? I think I could do it.
A TR Mag Rider. I feel like we might actually have a call out for that in the backlog. But anyway, so there's a lot of different challenges that we need to address, and in that kind of it kind of bulks out the update in a way that maybe doesn't feel substantial, but it's like a lot of work in the background. So you'll see some of that.
And fortunately, we've got Homero, the audio.
This is all good stuff. If you also bring in something else that's a real headline that'll grab people, like when the Bastion came in last God, it wasn't last year. It feels like it was a year ago. Earlier this year, that was a good example. Like, wham! Here's something amazing. I'm really hoping they're leading up to an announcement of something amazing to look forward to next year. I really hope so, because as much as I like all these things, this is not enough. I don't think. I'm sure it's a lot of work. Yeah.
Guy.
The audio
who's been
guy.
part of the team for a while now, and he's not only is he able to deliver the stuff, but he's always reminding us about the stuff like that we need to fill out. So he is always wanting to add more to the game.
Yeah, and so glad to have someone who reminds us about this stuff. Okay, so you can talk about
So
this.
let's talk about preparing for the future, and we're still going to go into more detail about some of the other initiatives through the rest of the year. But as I mentioned earlier, we've been growing the team. If you have been paying any attention to any of our job postings, which I assume that most of you are not, we've been pretty heavily recruiting for our tech team, which are basically looking for senior graphics and engine and tools programmers.
That's
so
good.
what we want to do this
Those are
year
real future
is, the
investments.
game's 8 years old. The game is, we're always making refinements and improving things, but we really want to focus our efforts on improving the game engine. And that isn't just making the game look better. Obviously, we did the DX11 update that was a bit rocky, but we want to not only make the game look better for the future, but we also want to address a lot of the performance issues that not only are some of you dealing with and frustrated with, but so are we. So throughout the year, as soon as we continue filling these roles, we're going to start assigning them to work on some pretty significant engine improvements that include both visual enhancements, and for a lot of you watching this, more importantly, a lot of client server performance optimization.
It's chunky.
So better frame
I
rate,
like
better
that.
stability.
Yeah. So that's really what the engine enhancements are for, and that's something that again we have something possibly rolling out sooner in the year, but we have something quite a bit bigger in store.
How's that pizza going, Classic? It's got to be done by now, right?
Towards the latter part of the year.
So with that said, let's move on to the. Oh, by the way, where can people go to apply for for one of these open positions?
So right now you need to go to daybreakgames.com and look.
Pizza. You linked a pizza to me earlier. It sounded like you were making one. Sorry. Someone talks about pizza. I can't stop thinking about pizza. It's part of the way I'm programmed, I think.
Look under careers because we don't have our careers page up on the Rogue Planet game.
Oh, do we not?
No,
okay,
we don't.
that's daybreakgames.com.
Nice setup there. Nice setup there, Michael.
Got him good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But daybreakgames.com/careers, I'm pretty sure that works.
Yeah. Or if you're a developer, we will just hit me up on Twitter, and we will send our recruiters after you.
Yeah.
In a good way. In a good way. Not like releasing the
it.
hounds. Yeah.
Right.
All right, Andy.
The guy. So moving on, the expansion of Araxis.
There it is. There it is.
All right. So really, what it comes down to
There
is
it is, boys. There it is, boys. There it is, boys. New continent. Fuck yes. Hell yes. That gets me up out of my... Well, not literally. That is exciting. Okay.
Grow out the world of Planetside 2. So new continent coming up. Got an air horn.
When?
No, okay. New continent. So we'll do that.
I think you just did the air horn.
Thank you. I do a passable air horn impression. So the periodic updates to older continents as well. Sorry, I glazed over the first one. So new continent. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Really not sure. That's so hilarious. So
well, by not sure,
I've had a lot of caffeine this morning.
There's an assortment of options that we need to. It's a continent, so it's a massive amount of work, and we're getting ready to. We need to get started relatively soon. So we're towards the final.
The work's not even
of,
started.
Deciding which direction we're gonna go.
You did get my joke.
Whoa!
What's that?
Never mind.
We've been practicing this all week.
Van with the
and by all week, I mean not
the big 10 times 1. What is up? Jeez. Van the Patron. Love to see it. How's it going, dude? That got me excited. So much excitement. New content for Planetside, new subscriptions for the chat. Hell yeah. Van, you finally get to see me actually talking about Planetside, right? I mean, actually looking at Planetside content. Okay. Come on. So, Van, your idea for the new continent was Sirhus. Yes, Sirhus. You just said it. Oh, man. Okay. I kind of, that doesn't feel like an obvious choice to me, but damn, I would love that. I would love that. That was a fun ass continent. And I'd also love it because the bases on the outside of the continent are so far spread apart. And I would like the idea of a Planetside too, where the bases are a little more spread out. I think that would be a cool thing to try. You tweeted them. Go retweet it. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll check that out. Send me a link to the tweet, and I'll definitely do that. Actually, I gotta be following you, right? Moving front lines. Yeah, Sirhus is good. I mean, obviously, there's the idea of Osher, right? The way they're talking about it, I wonder if they have like a few unfinished prototypes that they're kind of weighing, or if it's more like a situation where, they have like a rough land, like a rough map, maybe with a lattice already built out, but they haven't like themed it yet. I would be okay if they gave us a completely new area, like not something based on Planetside 1. But I would be also okay if they fan serviced us Planetside 1 players. A new frontline every time the continent opens would be the best for Planetside. You get the most content out of the building a new content. Yeah. And a new continent gives them the ability to do stuff like that. Because you're not ruining anyone else's, you're not ruining the game for anyone who already enjoys playing Indar or Amrish or whatever. Yeah, I like it. You can take new ideas. With a new continent comes so much possibility for opening up the Planetside formula. Sounds like it's going to be a while before we get it. They haven't started working on it yet. It sounds like it's more in like conceptual stages right now. But that is very good news. Okay. Periodic updates to older continents. Yeah. Unless we're talking about like changing the continents to be like based on like story and lore stuff. I don't know why that matters that much. Merrick used to play Planetside 1 back in the day. Planetside 1 was the shit. I feel like the like, I want to use the word brotherhood, but I don't want to gender it. But like the like brotherhood of Planetside 1 players is such a small like group. And I just love to see the Planetside 1 players turn out. Okay, Van, we're gonna retweet your tweet about Sirhus. We're gonna throw our support. Actually, I don't have the stream chat open up on my stream box, but hang on, I can do it on my second screen. Vanu for life, yes. I'm not logged into Twitter on my stream box. Hang on, I think that I can. It's like a shared clipboard. Let me see if that's accurate. Grab this, hop back over. Yes. Okay. Like. Yes, I love this. Last year's were so fun in backdoors. That's dirty. True, they were though. Yeah, man, Planetside 1 back in the day was such a head trip because it was so far ahead of its time, and you can tell because the technology like wasn't really there to pull off what they were trying to do. But yeah, it was a fucking trip. Like I felt so immersed in Planetside 1 in a way I don't get immersed when I play Planetside 2. Somehow. I also might have just been that I was, it was in like the early stages of the internet before social media was around, and I guess I wasn't that young. I would have been like around 21, 22 years old when that came out. Planetside 1. Okay. But let's see what else they have to say. There's only about 7 minutes left in this, and they haven't talked about the weird space thing they've been teasing. So maybe they're saving that. Maybe it's like a late 2021, 2022 kind of idea. Thumpers and plasmas were dirty. That was the way. This is the way. You know what else was the way in Planetside 1? Humping tower columns in third person. Man, I really wish they could have taken third person infantry out of that game. It made so much of it cheesy. It really was hugely ahead of its time. You remember reading about it. You bought your brand new Alienware PC. Couldn't believe it was real. Yeah. Couldn't believe it was real. It was exactly what Planetside 1 felt like at the time. It's like, what? No way, man. Press T. Lol. Okay. Let's see what else they have to say about the new continents. It's clear they're excited to talk about this. Look at the smiles on their faces. Look at Rel. He's looking good. He's looking happy. He's proudly showing off that bandana. Looking good. All right.
At all.
Yep. So new content for sure. That's definitely happening this coming year. Why am I stalling? Okay, so periodic updates to older continents as well. So we have some sticking points on. I mean, it would be nice.
He's
to,
feeling
maybe
pretty
finish
shaky about the
Boston,
continent. You can tell.
Make some adjustments, more adjustments to Indar, and then also, just sticking points about Azamir. Like you'll see some of that coming.
Okay, so like changing like base balance and lattice stuff, like you need to do that, but is it cool enough to put as a bullet point? I don't know. It won't be Osher, I guarantee. That's fine. I don't really want Osher back. I think that there's a little bit. I think that people have rose-tinted goggles when it comes to Osher a little bit. New stories, campaigns, yes. So we talked about this previously, like the when I was talking to Kamikaze, how the missions and campaign system feels quite raw, and we'd have to see what they do with it over time, and if they use it as a vehicle to like bring in changes to the game, like that's going to be like a best case scenario, and also to continue to help feed new players incentive to play and log in and try different things. All very good stuff. Let's see what they have to say.
Early next year with Chapter 3 as well. When we place in the new facilities, we'll also be able to make some adjustments based on community feedback and that sort of thing, and fix some bugs at the same time. So this is something that we want to periodically do. There was a lot of hesitation in the past to get people to download the entire map again, because that's what tends to happen whenever we make changes. So we need to be smart about it and continue to be. But I feel like some of our older concerns are no longer present. So, and then alongside like
people
a
have
new
fast
continent,
internet now,
and then maybe with some of the changes to older continents as well, you'll see new stories and new campaigns. That's going to be a persistent kind of occurrence.
Good, yes,
just
together
throughout the years.
They should be together.
Chapter 2. Or campaign 2 will probably pick up somewhere midsummer. I think one of the things that that we've at least figured out so far with doing these chapters is that we're kind of putting them too close together. That's something that, so if you've noticed the new dates for the campaign, they've kind of been spaced out a little bit more for the remaining chapters. And you have more time to do chapter 2, so it's not just a month.
That's
what's
good.
really funny is
I appreciate that.
Toward the end,
thank you, Rel.
How many procrastinators do we have in the audience? Like so many people jumped onto the campaign like
That's
the final
me.
days or whatever, just like I gotta finish this real fast. I had no interest before, but now I have all of the interest.
It's FOMO, bro.
You'll have more time
FOMO strong.
to then wait until the final moment to complete complete the chapter in the future, and then probably some spacing between, and then yeah. All right. Well, I'll see you later, guys.
Yeah. So that's kind of a high-level outlook at what we're thinking about for 2021. Again, this isn't everything. This is just the stuff that we have pretty high convictions about, and that we.
What about the space
we
thing?
either already started on months ago, or we're getting started on relatively quickly. And I'm afraid I might be sending people under a bus if I say this, but
do it.
If you recall promises of continents in the past and they just weren't delivered,
don't.
The benefit this time is that we have. No, I'm not. And this is going to seem very
it's
backhanded,
fine. I
but
just can't remember who did that.
I know, yeah, it was. That we finally have a team that like a team size that is capable of delivering these types of updates again. Which in the past it was very
one-man band.
Yeah, it was a very
the whole
noble cause. It was a
just be honest. You only have 3 full-time people working on Planetside.
These specific topics.
It's
for the
okay.
live stream is just because it's stuff that we have confidence in. Some of it requires a lot of work, and we need to get started on it soon. But
Classic doesn't play any games except Planetside. Hell yeah, man! Dedicated Iraxian right here. That's the way I've always played Planetside. I just poop sock it for like 2 months, and then I don't touch it for like 6 or 7 months. Van missed the beginning of the stream because I was at work. Saw the tail end of the new structure. The new structure, yeah, okay. So I actually didn't. I didn't stream my reactions to the very beginning of this because they showed off a new structure. I can go back to it, but I want to finish this. I'll go back to it if you guys want. And they also showed off a bunch of the new Nanite Systems weapons and the anniversary bundle. I don't really want to cover microtransactions because I don't think they're very interesting in terms of what direction the game is going. But yeah, the structure is cool looking, and I will go back and look at that in a sec. But this can't be it, right? There's got to be more. There's got to be more. I think we had way more Flash and Thunder this year. With Outfit Wars, the Bastion, Colossus, campaigns. You got to keep impressing people. Maybe once we know more, once they get further down the line, they'll be able to show us something. Think about it. This time last year, they weren't telling us shit. It wasn't until, mid-January that they started talking about what they were working on when they were very far down the line.
We feel like we can actually deliver this, and it's less of a pipe dream, and it's more very much a.
They don't want to Osher us again.
Roadmap for the coming year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see Andy being nervous about that.
I think this is about the time that we're going to wrap things up.
Explain it away.
I don't know if Justin wants to do any more giveaways, but just again, a reminder that we've got the Extra Life event happening through the end of the year. Justin will both drop the links in chat, and he'll be tweeting those out. I'm sure that we're going to be posting a video sometime this afternoon, just if you happen to miss this. But if you're hearing me say that, then you're not missing it. But if you came in late, then you'll be able to see the full recap. Again, the update is live for the anniversary and Chapter 2, which is unlocked today. PS4 is we're targeting getting the anniversary bundles out hopefully early next week. But they are everyone is getting double XP starting today through the end of the day next Thursday. The PS4 Chapter 2 schedule is offset a bit just because the original Shattered Warp Gate release happened a bit later. So Chapter 2 for PS4 begins, I believe it's December 15th. So that update will be going out in early December. But other than that, man, I can't believe it's been 8 years already. It's amazing and terrifying, and we couldn't actually be here without all of you. So
it's been a long time.
So it's been a long. Have you been weaving the lyrics of Rocket Man into this entire stream?
No, not intentional. Well, I mean, now this was intentional, but okay. But if there was any other moments in which that occurred, please timestamp them.
All right. All right. Well, on that note, on that incredibly corny reference note,
If you haven't seen the tweet, please go see
Yeah.
the tweet to the link to the video so that you can educate
I
yourself.
tweeted out the hype video that Rel and I have been watching all morning,
Excuse
drinking
me.
lots of caffeine and watching the William Shatner Rocket Man rendition.
I did not mention it, but you get the Rocket Man title in the
That's why all the
right.
references to Rocket Man.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Rocket Man title for
it's been
what?
real.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll talk to you again. Have a good rest of the day.
This is the part where we leave.
Okay. So maybe the space thing was a hallucination. Then I see you saying, let's play some Connor NC. I was actually just thinking, I'm supposed to be going to bed right now, but maybe I will play a little bit of Planetside because I'm kind of in the mood now after watching this.
So throughout the year,
You were talking about the structure. Where did they talk about that? Did a bunch of time talking about the weapons and the anniversary, like a bunch of time talking about the anniversary bundle. Wow. Like 20 minutes. No, not 20 minutes, like 10 minutes. And here it is, this structure.
And we haven't done that before. There was the Interlink a long time ago that never reached the satellite a day, but yeah. So this should be super exciting as you descend into the facility, and there's going to be some fun sub objectives too. I'll elaborate.
So Rel
probably
described this
more
as an
in the later
inventory-only
stream
base.
Once we're closer, but the design that's currently laid out for this facility is really cool. It should be an interesting style of gameplay, and again, it'll be like an infantry.
Looks kind of like a
Sunderdome
Sunderdome to me.
Pulling out the biolabs in on Ezimir, these will kind of take the place and kind of create that the more infantry-centric environment as well. But not after the combined arms breach from the outskirts. And here's another shot with it, just different lighting and so shiny.
So
I like how
is there a banana for scale there? There's
a better
Scale.
biolab.
scale. There we go.
Yeah, I think you probably have the right read on that, Van.
I can't see what they're
I really think you do.
But yeah, it's a monolithic creation, so that'll be
Just to be clear, that's coming for Chapter 3.
Chapter 3,
not Chapter 2,
right?
Which is live as of right now.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's that. I'm gonna pull up this tweet because this is bothering me now. I feel like maybe I got tricked and completely misread this. Twitter. Was it Planetside 2? Yes, beautiful weapons. I like the drop pod stuff. This is the coolest thing to come out of the anniversary bundle, I think. I think that they need to do horns on these though. So you can play Ride of the Valkyries as you're dropping in. That's what I want. November 16th. Maybe I imagine this completely. It looked like it was like a scythe overlooking Araxis from space. Maybe this is something that someone on Reddit did. Like a Reddit creation. Probably a pit where the Zerg gets lost. Maybe it'll have like some kind of arena component where that you can only have like a certain number of people in the base at one time. That would enrage people. Yeah, see if I missed anything here. After 5 years, no reason I can't quit this game. Technologies, tactical. Where was this post? This is it. All signs and hints lead to orbital warfare. Re-entry Lumifiber, O2 helmet, orbital drop pods, flight suit, Endeavor, As the name suggests, we're looking at the stars this year, with several new items providing hints at what's going on above and beyond the atmosphere of Araxis. This is what I'm talking about. There's something going. They're teasing something, and they're being very, very clever about it, bro. Yeah. So this image is it appears to be a player creation. But all the stuff down below that they're referencing, this is all real stuff from the anniversary bundle. This would actually get me to want to learn how to fly. This would do it. Yeah, they're teasing it, but not even to the point of like saying it out loud. And they're willing to talk about a continent they haven't actually done any planning on. I think this is a good idea. Like this is so when in early times when I was thinking about Sanctuary and what would be good about it. One of the things I knew that would be good about it is it needed to not just be like a landing place for new players. It needs to be an actual gateway to different kinds of Planetside experiences. And could you imagine like going into like the hangar deck of Sanctuary and like taking off and like flying to the other side of Araxis and getting involved in some kind of a skirmish over a warp gate or something? No one knew Bastions were coming, then they dropped them. You just can't trust the teases as being complete. I like that. I like that. See, this is a great time for Planetside because it kind of feels like this kind of thing could happen. Shit, that's cool.